Hey guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face using drugstore makeup. I picked up a couple new products to try out, and I'm also going to be using some of my personal favorite drugstore products. So if you are interested in seeing how I did this entire face using all drugstore products, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, so I went ahead and I did my brows off camera because I have my brow routine on my channel, so I'll leave that video up above so you guys can check that out. But the brows are drugstore. I am going to jump into the eye look. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Deep Caramel. I'm using this as my eyeshadow base. I'm just applying this all over my lids. And then I'm going to blend this out with my sponge from Shop Miss A. I'm taking the same sponge and I'm just going to use a little bit of the Maybelline setting powder to set my lids. Okay you guys, for the eyes, I'm going to be using my Milani Gilded Terra eyeshadow palette. I love this palette. I talk about this palette a lot on my channel. I did a eye look recently in my last couple of videos and I was getting a lot of compliments on the eye look, so I want to recreate it. It's very simple and I used this palette. I feel like this palette, I use it a lot because you can use this palette all year round and you get a little bit of everything in here, and the shadows, the quality is just really nice. So I'm going to take my BK 201 brush and I'm going to start with the shade Slow Burn, and I'm going to blend that all over my crease as my transition shade. Okay you guys, so I know that doesn't look like much, but trust the process. I'm taking the M441 brush from Morphe and I'm using this shade down here called Branch Out, and what I'm going to do is stamp that on the outer portions of my eyes. So I use the same brush to kind of like blend the edges out just so it doesn't look too harsh, and then I'll like pack more shadow. So I'm going back in with the brush that I use for the transition shade just to blend one more time. So you guys know I love to keep my eye looks really simple, so I'm going to move on to the lids. I'm going to be taking this shade right up here called Take a Hike, and I'm using my finger to just apply this all over my lid. This shade is just gorgeous. And I'm taking back my 201 brush with a little bit of my transition shade just to blend right in here, just so it looks smooth. I'm basically using this to blend out the shimmer, and then I'll top it off just so the edges of the shimmer looks smooth. And then I take back the shimmer and just top it off again. And I'm using back the M441 brush with a little bit of the deeper shade just to blend the outer portions in. Okay, you guys, so I know the eyes are looking very simple today, but I'm keeping it simple today because I'm not using a new eyeshadow palette. I didn't find a new eyeshadow palette. If you have one from the drugstore that you want me to try out, let me know in the comment section. But I use this palette all the time, so I just wanted to keep it simple. I'm going to apply some lashes and then I'll be right back to jump into the base. Alright y'all, so my lash glue is still drying, but the lashes are on. My lashes aren't from the drugstore, but they are very affordable. I get them from AliExpress. Whenever I use these lashes, I always get asked what lash I'm wearing, and I get them from AliExpress. I love these lashes. I've been wearing them for years. I get them for like 4 something Canadian for a pack, and they come in a pack of 5. It does take a little time to get to me, but whenever I buy them, I buy like 3 packs at a time, so I always have like a backup. Let me show you guys what they look like. So this is the style G907. These lashes are in my top 2. I've been using them for a really long time, so I just wanted to let you guys know that the lashes are from AliExpress. So moving on to the base. For primer, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I've been really enjoying this primer. I just love how tacky it feels on the face, and your makeup actually wears really well. Okay, so moving on to foundation. Before I apply foundation, I want to try out a new product. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I picked up the shade 7. I feel like this shade is going to be a little bit dark, but I feel like I can make it work. So I'm going to apply this to my face and see how it looks. Once again, I picked up the shade number 7. Like, it looks a tad bit dark. Like, I can definitely pull it off now because it's summer, but I feel like going into winter, it's going to be a little bit too dark. So I might have to pick up the shade 6. I'm going to apply this all over my face and see how it looks. And I am using the 106 brush from BK Beauty. So this is what it looks like. It's giving a really nice glow. I actually really like the way it looks. It doesn't look super dark, but I can tell that it is a tad bit dark. I'm going to apply on my forehead just a little bit because, as I said, it is a little bit dark. Okay, you guys, so now that this is all over my face, it is looking really dark. It is looking very dark. I feel like I need to get the shade 6, but hopefully it looks better when I apply my foundation. For foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation 24 Hour. I'm using the shade 355 Coconut. Hopefully this balances out that product from e.l.f. And I'm using the same brush to apply this. So foundation is on. I do feel like the foundation made a huge difference because this shade is a little bit too dark for me, and I feel like the foundation on top of it makes it look a lot better. This is a mattifying foundation, and I feel like this makes the foundation looks nice and glowy. I love the finish of my foundation right now. I feel like this shade paired with this foundation looks really good, but I am going to pick up the shade 6 just so I have like my perfect shade. But I feel like this is going to be good for a foundation if it's a little bit too light, or I want to make a winter foundation work during the summertime, if that makes sense. But this is a little bit too dark for my liking, so I'm going to pick up the shade number 6, but for right now it looks really good. So moving on to concealer, I picked up a new concealer to try out. It's not a new product, but it is new to me. This is the Covergirl Concealer. I'm not sure how I feel about this concealer. Like, looking at the package, it looks really good, but when you open it, I feel like the shade looks a little bit too golden for my liking. This is the shade D100 Golden Caramel, so I'll probably mix in another concealer with this just to balance out the undertone of this concealer. I feel like it is a little bit too golden. It doesn't look bad under the eyes, so I'm going in with a little bit, like right here, just that much. Tad bit right there, tad bit on the nose. And then I'm going to take the L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer in the shade 410 Almond, and I'm going to mix this in with that concealer to balance it out, not using too much product. I'm taking back the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo. This one I'm just going to use on my forehead, just to mix these together, just so it's not super bright on my forehead and right here on my nose. I'm not using too much concealer because all three concealers are pretty full coverage and I just don't want the face to look too cakey, and the foundation is very full coverage, so I don't see anything peeking through that I need to cover, so I'm just using concealer to brighten. So while the concealer is sitting, I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. This is in the shade Sun Kiss, and I'm using a Real Techniques brush just to pick up the product because the container is very small. I'm using this brush just to pick up the product, and then I'll use another brush to blend it out. I'm going to put a little bit there, a little bit here. I'm taking this BK 101 brush to blend that out. So to blend my concealer, I'm taking this A506 brush from BK Beauty. I'm using this on my forehead just so I can spread this product out. I'm going to go back over with a sponge, but I'm going to use the same brush under my eyes. And I'm taking another Shop Miss A sponge just to go back over. Okay guys, so to set the under eyes, I picked up a new powder to try out. This isn't a new product, but it is new to me. Lately, I've been seeing this all over TikTok. A lot of people have been using this to set their under eyes. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder. I picked up the shade 230. Hopefully this shade works for my under eyes. And I also picked up another product that I saw on TikTok to pair with this. And this is the viral powder puff from Amazon. I picked this up to try both under my eyes, so hopefully this works out. So I'm going to apply it to this side first. What I did, I picked up some of the powder. I'm going to press off the excess and then apply it under the eyes. So my under eyes look really smooth, but I feel like I went in with too much powder. So I'm taking my sponge just to blend over top again. This looks a lot better. If you are going to try this out, I do recommend you go in with a little bit of powder. But y'all, this looks so good right now. This looks really good. So I'm going to use the powder puff to set the rest of my face. But as I said, I'm going in with the tiniest bit of powder. Yeah. So this is what the face is looking like after setting with this powder. When I tell you, everything looks so smooth right now. I don't know if it's the powder puff or the powder, but the two together, it looks really, really good. I'm just going to take my sponge and go back over just so it doesn't look as harsh, and just kind of press everything in. I'm going to set the rest of my face. I'm using my Rimmel Stay Matte. This is in the shade Pecan. I'm just going to use a little bit to set these areas. Before I move on to the rest of the base, I'm going to do my lower lash line. I am just going to go in with a brown liner. This one is from the drugstore. This is the Sephora liner. I'm going to use this to line my lower lash line. And then I'm taking the M321 brush with a little bit of the shade Branch Out just to smudge that liner. So I applied some mascara, but I don't have a drugstore mascara right now, so I just used my regular Rare Beauty mascara. But I picked up a new bronzer to try out. This one is from Loreal. This is the 24-hour Freshware bronzer. I picked up the shade 500, and I'm taking this on my Morphe E3 brush. I'm just going to go in with a little bit because I don't know how pigmented it's going to be. So this bronzer looks a little bit more cool applied to the skin, but it still looks really, really good. I like this for like a everyday kind of bronzer. I'm going to go in with some blush. I was supposed to use cream blush, but I completely forgot. So I'm just going to use this one from Covergirl. This is in the shade Hot Frenzy. This is a beautiful orange blush. I'm using the 104 brush from BK. I'm going to go in with some highlights. I'm taking my NYX High Glass in the shade Golden Hour, and I'm using this on a AOA Studio brush. This is the F19 brush. This is from Shop Miss A. To set the face, I don't have like a locket kind of setting spray from the drugstore. All these setting sprays that I have from the drugstore are dewy sprays. So I'm going to take this one from e.l.f. This is the Coconut Dewy Mist. I'm going to go in with this, but I'm still going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury spray just because I need my face to last all day and it's hot outside. And then I'm going in with my Charlotte Tilbury. Let me know in the comment section your favorite like locket kind of setting spray from the drugstore. So something like Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Let me know your favorite like mattifying but not drying setting spray from the drugstore. So for lips, I picked up a few new lip products, but I am going to use my NYX lip liner. This is in the shade Espresso. So for lipstick, I picked up one of the viral Milani lipsticks. This one, I picked it up in the shade Tease. This looks like a gorgeous nude. I picked up two glosses from elf. This one I mentioned in my July favorites video. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. This is in the shade Pink Cosmo, and I also picked up this one in the shade Mocha Twist. Both glosses are plumping glosses. I'm going to go in with Mocha Twist first, and then I'll go in with Pink Cosmo just to see how it looks. So this one isn't nude enough, so I'm just going to go in with Pink Cosmo. Alright you guys, so this is the finished look. So I took a little bit of brown liner and I applied it right in the corners right here just to make the lips pop a little bit more. Let me give you guys a quick rundown on everything that I used today. So this elf Halo Glow, I love how glowy it makes my foundation look. I went in with a mattifying foundation and my face still looked really nice and glowy. I am going to pick up the shade 6 to use with my regular foundations, but I am going to hold on to this just in case I have a foundation that is probably too light. This will definitely balance that out, but the face looks beautiful, you guys. This powder and puff combo is everything. I love how smooth my under eyes look. I really like this powder. The shade is really nice as well if you want that bright under eye. I didn't go in with a lot of concealer and my under eye looks beautiful. I love the powder puff because of the shape, so it's easy to like press in powder under your eyes. It is just beautiful, so you'll definitely be seeing this in more videos. I really like this Milani lipstick. It is more of like a muted kind of nude, so if you don't want something that is super light, this is really nice. This is probably my like everyday kind of nude. I love this, and paired with the elf gloss, it's just everything. I really like the formula of the elf gloss, but the face looks beautiful. I think this was another successful drugstore video. The bronzer from Loreal, I do like it. I feel like it is a little bit cool, but when you apply it to the skin, like it does what it needs to do. It looks really nice on the skin. As I said, I feel like this was another successful drugstore video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I feel like the look looks really good. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Everything that I used on my face today, I will have linked down below for you guys. Some of the links are going to be affiliate links, so that means I will make a small commission if you shop through those links. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really hope you guys found it helpful. Leave your drugstore recommendations in the comment section down below. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.